All right, and hello and welcome to Drinking with Jake. I am your host, Jake. With me in virtual reality and quarantine is my best friend, Michael. Say hello, Michael.
Hello.
Sorry that we haven't been with you in a long time. We are currently in quarantine slash lockdown,
As
like
is everybody else.
like everybody else. So we're trying to be creative to give, like what Michael said earlier, give our fans what they want, which is more of us.
What they crave.
What they need. So this is a great idea that Mike had. We're using Zoom, so I hope it works out. And we just thought we would sit, have some drinks, and just talk to see how everybody was doing. And I'm sure with as the libations are flowing, our jokes will get reeling, and we're gonna
And
have
worse.
a good time tonight. And worse.
And worse. Heyo.
Heyo.
Hmm.
So it looks like if you see a notice on Michael's background, he's been working really hard to train the birds in his window to sit very still.
Look, they don't move.
Yeah.
Stay.
Yep. So they're well-trained birds. So good job on that. That's what Mike's been doing for his.
Boy, they didn't want to listen at first, but you give some bird feed to the right birds, slap them around a little bit. Yeah. What am I saying? Lucas, child.
Sorry.
So, yeah. To recap, I am having some, since this is Drinking with Jake, I am having some Sierra Mist with some real lime juice with some Canadian, no, not Canadian Hunter, some Seagram's VO whiskey inside. And my wife says that I have to drink the liquor in my liquor cabinet. And I said, don't threaten me with a good time. So that's what I'm doing. I'm emptying bottles.
I'll drink to that.
Jake, what are you drinking tonight?
Tonight I am kind of going old school. I picked up a bottle of Wild Turkey Rye. Don't ask me rye, but I picked it up. There was Wild Turkey 80 proof, which is always good. I love Kentucky whiskey. And there was the 101, and then I saw the rye, and I thought, you know what? I deserve it.
You said, why not?
I said, why not? I'm going to drink a rye. So I'm going to, as Mike's talking, I'm going to try to peel it open and pour myself a little rye in a glass.
So
are you neat?
You're just going to have it neat?
Yeah, I just like neat.
What do you think a rye would make a decent old fashioned?
I think it would give it a different type of texture. I mean,
sure.
With the rye, you're using a different grain, you know, compared to wheat or corn or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I like rye.
I think it would give it a spicier flavor.
Yeah.
For some reason, I think ryes are a little spicy. I enjoy a rye. I think I have some rye in here, some bullet rye. Yeah. I like a rye. I say rye not. Oh yeah, I gotta sniff the plastic.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna pour a little bit of rye. I've always liked it. I mean, like, I think we had it. You and I had it a long time ago, and just to try it out, because you know, like rye, that's kind of maybe it's a southern thing. I don't know. But we tried like, oh, I kind of like it. It has a different type of tingle to it.
Okay.
A little bit grittier, I think. It has a different color to it, and I like it a lot. So I'm going to pour myself a glass. I like that. Oh, that's the business right there.
Let me smell it.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's stuff. Yeah. That's the stuff. Yep.
Yeah, wish we could be together, but this is all right as well.
This is the best we can do. Oh yeah, that looks tasty.
So this first drink, I'd like to toast to all of our viewers out there who are currently in quarantine, and please hang in there. We're going to get through this together. Stay safe, stay healthy, and don't be afraid to drink up, because I heard alcohol kills the virus.
Right. Cheers. I'm trying to do it.
Sorry, clink.
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 Colonel Clink. Hogan. So,
What did your child just say?
oh, who cares?
I'm an
So,
old bastard. Is that what he said?
no, yeah, he said old dirty bastard. He's apparently part of the Wu-Tang. So, when I was in the service, there was a bunch of us. There was probably 30 of us on the boat that watched a lot of wrestling during the Attitude Era, as it were, with Stone Cold and Triple H and The Rock. So in the last few days, I got a free month of WWE Network.
Awesome.
Now, it's stupid. I know it is. I'm not dumb. I know it's predetermined. It's purely for entertainment. But I've been having Lucas and Jacob watch these matches with me, and I think Lucas really likes them. We've watched some old Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, and today we watched some Shawn Michaels and Mankind and Undertaker and Stone Cold. I mean, just all these. So I'm reliving my youth, as it were.
Yeah.
And also introducing him to what I did when I was younger. But I think he's really enjoying it. I might have created a monster and, made a wrestling fan out of him.
No, I remember watching wrestling when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was, the AWA and then the WWF.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then it was the WWE, and then, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Jimmy
Yep.
Superfly Snuka, Coco Beware.
Junkyard Dog.
Junkyard Dog.
Brutus Beefcake, $1 Million Man, Mr. Perfect, all these guys.
What was the guy's name with the claw? You remember him?
There was...
He was the claw, and then he would eat the turnbuckle.
Oh, that was George the Animal Steel.
Oh, yeah, George the Animal Steel.
He had a green tongue.
Yeah. I hope that wasn't from liver failure or something like that.
It's probably from eating all the turnbuckles.
Yeah. What was it? Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
Yep. Sergeant Slaughter and the Iron Sheik.
Iron Sheik, yeah.
There's just so many of them. It was just that was the golden era of wrestling.
It was.
And most of those guys are dead now.
Yeah, Andre the Giant. You remember him? Obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
He's gone now, and then.
Well, most of them died from a heart attack. Gee, yeah. I can't imagine why.
Geez, they put their bodies through all that punishment and all that time. Yep, all that time on the road and all the
extracurriculars.
Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake. What was his last name?
Roberts.
Oh, thank you, Jake the Snake Roberts.
There was actually a very good documentary on Netflix about the resurrection of Jake the Snake, and it shows that the hell that he put his body through, and with drugs and alcohol on top of all the wrestling.
Yeah.
And his road to redemption, as it were.
Sure.
Pretty much he was battling demons from years and years gone by. And this is how he got back and how he sobered up and started to actually live a clean life and get healthier. It was pretty good. I believe it was the resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts. I might be wrong on the title, but
cool.
You put Netflix in that and you'll figure something out.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I remember watching what's that Pawn, not Pawn Stars, but the one out of Detroit.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Hardcore Pawn or something like that.
Yeah, Hardcore Pawn or something. And one of the pro wrestlers that we grew up with walked in with, I think, one of his costumes to sell or pawn or whatever. And the guy, I think he was maybe, and he's probably a little bit older now, but he was walking with a cane. He looked, pretty beat up. And I thought, my gosh, imagine what they put their bodies through. And just for the performance and all that. And yeah. But you're right though. Golden age, man.
Like I told Jacob, I said, the story is predetermined. They've already gone through it all. Who's going to win, who's going to lose. The story is predetermined, but the action, the actual wrestling that's as real as it can get. I mean, yeah, it doesn't hurt as much as they try and sell it. You know, you put in somebody in the sharpshooter, it doesn't feel like somebody's going to rip your leg off, but they still jumping from the top of the turnbuckle like Macho Man did and
Yeah.
landing on that mat. I don't care who you are, that's going to hurt.
Yeah,
Getting
you're
hit with a
you're
steel
still
chair.
you're right. You're right. They're still throwing themselves around. And I remember one time I was watching, was it Hulk Hogan or Hogan Knows Best or something like that? I was just flipping through. So this is a few years ago, and Hulk Hogan was doing this charity thing, and he got dressed up and he did this wrestling thing. The guy could barely move when he got
Yep.
done. You know, he
Yep.
had his like knee braces on underneath his spandex and all that,
Yep.
and he got done. And he was walking back in the dressing room. The man could barely walk.
Oh yeah.
And you can imagine just the joint arthritis that they're going to get. And yeah,
Well, that constant
wasn't,
impact's got to take a toll.
yeah, I don't think a lot of them are doing well. And there were a few other ones that just, their bodies just gave out on them.
Sure. Well, I mean, and then you get like Macho Man, who had a heart attack. Oh yeah, brother. You know,
Step into a Slim Jim.
that's right. You get Macho Man, who had a heart attack while he's driving, and then he hit a tree. I mean, the heart attack is probably what killed him. He probably never realized he hit the tree, but
Yeah.
you know, most of these guys are dying from heart attacks because of all the crap they put inside their bodies just to go out and give a good show.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and I'm not
so-
making excuses for them. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of them that didn't do it, but you can't tell me that Macho Man wasn't coked out of his mind
Yeah. Yeah.
for half of his time on
Right.
there. You know?
The Road Warriors, Junkyard Dogs.
Oh.
Who are the two guys that they were British and they had the British Bulldog? Were they the
They had
British
the-
Bulldogs?
British Bulldog was one of them. They're I'm trying to remember what the wrestling team name was. Might have been the Bulldogs, but the
Yeah.
British Bulldog was one guy, Davy Boy
Okay.
Smith. But he was also related to somewhat, I think he was a cousin or he married into, I don't remember exactly, but the Hart Foundation, which was Bret the Hitman Hart and
Yeah.
Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Owen Hart, you know, who just up in Canada, they're like wrestling, big, you know, wrestling gods.
Yeah.
So,
Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
oh,
Jeez.
that
And
was,
then you go a little bit more old school with the AWA. Do you remember the AWA?
very, very briefly, when I was real little, I remember WWF.
Yeah. Yeah.
Out in LA, out in California, that's really all we got. We didn't get any of the what do they call them? The regional
Yeah.
AWA and all the other stuff, WWF and all that stuff.
Because I think the AWA was Minnesota, or it was more Midwest.
Yeah.
I think Vern Gagne started it.
Yep.
And then his son, Greg Gagne, was a wrestler as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were bought out by the WWF, or
Yes,
they
they were.
merged or something like that.
Once
And
Vince McMahon realized he had the money to do this, he started buying out all the independents.
yeah.
So, hold on, I'm being passed a note here.
From one of your fans.
Yes, from one of my fans. Hold on, I have to sign an autograph.
Fan mail.
All my best. Love, Michael.
Yeah.
There we go. That'll be worth something.
That'll be $20.
Yeah, $20, please.
Yeah, so I remember the AWA as a kid, and it was Vern Gagne, Greg Gagne, that turnbuckle guy, that George the Animal Steel. And I remember I don't remember where I saw it, but they interviewed George the Animal Steel, later on in his years,
Mm-hmm.
and Vern Gagne trained him. And George the Animal Steel was this soft-spoken, gentle, quiet man. He wasn't this, crazy, out-of-the-box type of dude. And they were interviewing him. He said, yeah, I was really shy. And I thought, is this the same guy that, would put the claw on a person's head and bring, but it was like you said, it was show business, which is good.
Yep.
But at the same time, you know, these guys were training out of old barns on a canvas, you know, mattress, and you know that's how they learned and that's how they were taught. You know, these were just farm guys, you know, learning from the basics of all that, and then they got into the WWF. I remember Jimmy Superfly Snuka. God, that guy just was
I've never
awesome.
seen someone jump so high off of the ropes before.
No.
Shawn Michaels and Macho Man's Randy Savage, they could jump high and jump far, but nobody jumped as high as Jimmy Snuka.
Yeah.
And he would jump. I mean, these guys would jump off the cages,
Yeah.
just brutalize their bodies for the entertainment of millions.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, whether you like it or you hate it or you think it's stupid or whatever, the writing sold it,
Mm-hmm.
and then the writing made it, and the wrestler sold it.
Yeah.
The ones with charisma, at least. And
Yeah.
so I've been enjoying having Lucas and Jacob, mostly Lucas, watch these matches with me and just kind of reminiscing over, you know, what was.
And then who was the interview guy? Mean Gene Okerlund?
Mean Gene Okerlund.
Gosh, I think he's dead now.
Oh, yep.
I think he's
dead.
passed on.
Bobby the Brain Heenan, who I didn't know this, of course, because I only knew him from the TV show, but Bobby the Brain Heenan was probably one of the most loved guys out there in the business, and he was hilarious. Everybody said he was one of the funniest guys I'd ever met. So, but
well, that's awesome. That's great.
And so
yeah, that's great. You know, and it's good to stroll down memory lane and watch these old shows of when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as an example, during this quarantine period, we got the Disney Plus. We got that, and it's like what, $12 a month or something, I don't know, or we got a free trial. And we're looking at all these old movies when we were kids, you know, and then even before we were kids. But you know, the original Tron is on there.
Oh, that almost sells it right there.
You know, I mean, you have Tron on there. I mean, that's it right there. I'm there with Tron, and you know, my daughter says, "What's Tron?" And I said, "Oh my gosh, you don't even know." That was like the most new, fascinating sci-fi. What do they call it? The digital special effects stuff of the time. And you watch it now and it's really hokey, but back then that was it.
That was cutting edge.
That was cutting edge, man. So it was really good to see.
I remember going to Disneyland. Hold on, let me pass another request for an autograph. My gosh. His daughter. Okay. You're the best. I love you, baby.
Honestly, I can't take this pressure of being a celebrity.
I know, it's just too much at times.
You need an entourage to shield you from this.
I really do. I mean, next thing you know, people are going to start taking pokes at me. Hey, how about we take a pause for a minute? And,
okay.
I'm going to go venture somewhere else within the quarantine.
Okay, I'll be right back with you. We'll talk to you soon, everybody.
See ya.